Tonight, we're checking in on the City of Austin's progress setting up its own independent forensic science department to run the city's DNA crime lab. City Council voted to reallocate $12 million in funding away from APD for that purpose. But KXAN's Jacqueline Powell learned today it will not be up and running as soon as we were told.
The director of this new forensic science department, Dr. Dana Khadavi, told the city in this memo back in May that it would be established by tomorrow, July 1st. We checked in today because we wanted to learn more about this new department, but the city told us that it's still being finalized administratively, and the actual transition date moving forensics out of APD is still to be determined. As we wait for that, I spoke with one council member who pushed for this change about why he thinks it'll be better for crime victims when it is established. Under APD's old crime lab,
folks that were innocent weren't being exonerated, and people that were guilty weren't being held accountable.
That's why City Council member Greg Casar says he advocated to move it out of police control. Right now, APD sends some evidence to private labs and also has a contract with DPS to process some in its crime lab until early next year. After that, the city plans for its newly created forensic science department to take over.
As an independent department that isn't buried away somewhere, it can have that level of visibility where the city is watching and making sure that we hold that department, like our other departments, to the highest standards possible.
The same director who was under APD will run this independent lab, but Casar says he's not worried about that.
Dr. Khadavi was brought in after the lab was shut down. She was brought in to bring in that scientific expertise after several other heads or potential heads weren't found to have the level of scientific expertise that we expect at the city.
What he does worry about, a bill that would penalize cities for defunding police. If passed in special session, Casar says the city may have to return the forensics funding, meaning the crime lab would go back under APD's purview.
But we will continue to work tirelessly to make sure we don't have those rape kit backlogs that we saw in the past, to make sure that our DNA is scientifically analyzed.
Jacqueline Powell, KXAN News.
The city and APD were in agreement on this change. Both supported making forensics a standalone department. The district attorney's office also told us today its staff is looking forward to working with the new department as it's held to the highest standards. In 2009, more than a decade ago, the National Academy of Sciences recommended all forensic labs and facilities be removed from administrative control of law enforcement agencies or prosecutors' offices. It was part of a study authorized by Congress to improve forensic science investigations.